were urgent. The Warriors, they fell last night 113-94 to the 76ers. They dropped to 4-8 without Steph Curry this season. And Draymond Green, he scored 6 points in his 923rd career game, all with the Warriors. But post-game, things took a little bit of a turn here. Draymond Green, he talked about the possibility of this being his last game with Golden State.
I think a lot of people want to know, like, how I feel about it. Like, am I upset about it? Or, like, I'm not at all. Like, you know, I don't. If that's what's best for this organization, that's what's best for the organization. You know, I'm not like, oh, man, they me over or something like that. Like, I don't really feel that way. Like, I've been here for 13 and a half years. I don't know that it ends at 13 and a half, but if it does, what a run it's been. I'll take the fine for it. What a run it's been. So that's just how I feel.
I don't know that they're going to find Draymond for that, but whoa. I mean, that's not what I was expecting to hear from Draymond Green post-game. But, Mark, you were there. You got a chance to talk to Draymond one-on-one. What did you learn?
Well, I talked to him before the game. This is a guy I met in 2012 when he was a second-round pick coming off the bench in Summer League, who turned that into $225 million. Yeah. So I asked him before the game, like, how do you feel? And he's like, and I'm reading, he said, if someone walked up to me 13 years ago and said, would you sign up? I would sign up for it. And they walked up to me and asked me would I sign up for it now, I would sign up for it. And he said that he knows this is a business. The business gets everybody at some point. It just depends on how it gets you, which I know Shump likes that line. It's good for me to have 13 and a half years here, so why would I worry about it? And I said, well, what about your wife? His son had walked into the locker room. He said, my family's not worried about it, but I do find it interesting that Hazel Renee was in the press conference watching it afterwards, which she has never done. I also talked to Kuminga, who's interested in this as well. He's very much curious about wanting to go. He'd still love to go. He said his knee's getting better. He started working out. And I said, well, how would you feel if you're still here on Thursday? And he goes, God's plan. God's plan.
All right, so Draymond Green ready to accept whatever happens. Jonathan Kuminga hoping to see some action
he'll walk
here.
To Milwaukee.
Well, if his knee allows him to. Bobby Marks is at the touchscreen. Bobby, if the Warriors and Milwaukee Bucks are to strike a deal here, would Draymond Green need to be in it?
He would, unless you're going to include Jimmy Butler here. And it's really as complex as the CBA is. It's simple math here. When you're looking at Draymond, who makes close to 26, remember this is a second apron team. They cannot take back more money in a deal here. When you look at Draymond, and we're going to add Jonathan Kuminga, and let's put Moses Moody in here. Those three players work. If you didn't include Draymond, you're going to have to put Jimmy Butler in the trade. So the three players there. I think this is going to be the most important thing in this trade is the picks, 2026, 28, 30, and 32. Those would go to Milwaukee here. And when you look at that type of trade, it certainly works. Green, Kuminga, Moody. Green can certainly be rerouted somewhere else. And then as we talked about, all these draft picks for a Golden State team that will have Giannis and Steph Curry with Jimmy Butler out until probably next February.
Shump, if you're the Milwaukee Bucks, do you make the deal in the next 8 hours, as Bobby Mark said? That's the timeline we're working with?
If I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, no, I'm not helping. I don't like helping people like that. That's a lot of help. I ain't gonna lie, that's a lot of help that you're giving over there to Golden State, and I'm not one of those guys. I'm a super competitor. They better be glad I ain't the GM, but I do hope it happens as a fan.
Well, that's why you send him west as opposed to keeping him in the Eastern Conference like somewhere like Miami.
If you ever want to win, you got to deal with them.
Thinking on each franchise on making this kind of move?
So, Malika, all of this was started with James Harden. He essentially had a mutual option for next season, and the way he's been playing in this recent Clippers surge, he held the Clippers' feet to the fire in a lot of ways to see, is there a commitment beyond this season? Is there a longer-term future for him? And nothing, to my understanding, was promised next season and beyond. And so James Harden made it clear that he wanted a win-now opportunity, somewhere where he could have a longer-term future. He viewed the Cleveland Cavaliers as having fit both of those criterias. And so both sides worked on finding a mutually beneficial path forward. I think there's a lot of respect built up over the last couple years between the Clippers and James Harden. So that's where Darius Garland and the Cavaliers come in. Darius Garland, 26 years old. James Harden is 36. So to have a star-for-star trade with this type of age gap, the Clippers really believe that Darius Garland has the youth, has the upside that helps them now and be competitive now, but mostly for the long term. And it's obvious with every move the Cavs make, they're trying to compete for a championship around Donovan Mitchell. This week, they've gotten Keon Ellis, Dennis Schroeder. Now they round it out with James Harden.
And thus, we have a little point guard swap. Shams, thank you. We'll let you get back to work. Kudos to our Ramona Shelburne, because I hear what we're reporting here, but also James Harden, Ramona got some time with him exclusively last night. And this is really interesting because, as Shams is saying, James Harden wants to win. But James was asked if he demanded a trade, and this is what he said. He said, quote, "That wasn't the case at all. In life, not even basketball, but when things don't work out, there are ways to end relationships without having to crack each other. And as much as I wanted to stay in LA and give it a go, I've never won one before. As a basketball mind, I think we," and he means Cleveland there, "have a better chance." So, Brian, decipher this for me. What does this acquisition mean to you?
Well, from Harden's perspective, I do think that he does have a better chance in Cleveland. I agree with that. But this was money-driven, as Shams said. I know everybody wants to put their spin on it, and I respect that. Cleveland's situation, they have been looking at a 4 or 5 year window with this group of young players that they all signed to long contracts. They are now looking at it basically as a 2-year window. Harden and Donovan Mitchell over the next couple of years, they want to go for it. I think the interesting thing that he said also in these comments to Ramona is that he wanted to give the Clippers a chance on a little bit of a rebuild. Now, that word rebuild set off little alarm bells around me. So I checked in with that, and I was told the Clippers are not rebuilding.
Okay, so this is the quote. He said, quote, "I didn't want to feel like I was holding the Clippers up in their future. I wanted them to actually have a chance, ding, 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 to rebuild and get some draft capital."
Don't like that word. That word's a little bit worrisome, because if James Harden thought they were rebuilding and wanted to get out in front of it, you're like, wait a minute. So I checked in. The Clippers are not rebuilding. But if you want to call them and offer them something that they think that can help them longer term, because they got the oldest team in the league, and you want to offer them a 2-time All-Star like Darius Garland, I think that they will listen. The two players that we're talking about here, without saying the names, are Ivica Zubac, who's, excellent center, defensive center, and Kawhi Leonard. I don't think either of those players are going to move, but obviously the Clippers are making, it clear with their actions here that they're going to take a call and listen. And if not now, maybe they visit that in the summer.
Yeah, I think they benefit from it. I think that both the Clippers, we're not talking about it because everybody's so focused on James Harden and Spider Mitchell, right? But when you look at the Clippers on paper, I like Zubac and Darius Garland in the pick and roll. I like that tag man being Kawhi Leonard, and then you have to deal with an ISO with Kawhi Leonard over there. I think Zubac is one of the throwback bigs that we have in this league, and I think he's going to make it go. So I think that T. Lue sees a little something over there, and they can work it over there. He's going to be 26 years old coming in, like you were saying, 10 years on his legs. I think you're a happy camper over there.
I think the question has to be, when you look at the last 3 seasons, Darius Garland, he's missed 57 games. James Harden has missed 18 games, and that's going to be the question, right?
It's the NBA.
Right.
Like, we don't talk about it enough, but it's like, for these guys to go out here and give you the stat lines that you want them to go out here and run through a wall for you, but then you don't want them to be hurt. And it's like, it's a lot of basketball to be played. Guys are going to get hurt. If guys do the preparation in the summer, if guys are locked in with their training staff, guys will come back. But expect guys to miss some time. That's okay. Just get healthy by the time playoffs come. Make sure your record is ready for the playoffs, and then do something.
Well, that has been the problem for Cleveland, the do something part in the playoffs over the last couple of years. And so now they've made a move. Chene, how do you see this James Harden, Donovan Mitchell backcourt looking?
Y'all, we got a big trade. You know what that means? We got to go to the big board. Let's do it, y'all. I'm excited. Are you excited? I'm hyped because the deadline is near here. We've seen so many different versions of the beard. We've seen the 6-man. We've seen the MVP. We've seen the system. But the latest, greatest version of James Harden is the facilitator. And I know a lot of people want to focus on the post, rightfully so, but I actually want to focus on the guard and how he will play alongside Donovan Mitchell. So I have some tape for you to see on James Harden's impact. James Harden gets double-teamed more than Darius Garland, which means he's going to attract multiple defenders. That allows Donovan Mitchell to hopefully get easier, better looks. He averages 25 points per game, clearly 8 assists. He's going to create some options. Just a quick, easy read for Kawhi. That's going to be done getting to the mid-range. But also, he's a tremendously gifted passer right here. The entire defense bends. He has you on his heels. And then beautiful swing action to get an easy open look. Donovan Mitchell is shooting 38% from 3 on 29 points per game. So these looks are what James Harden will generate for Cleveland. But also, James Harden has plenty of experience playing alongside players that need the ball. because Donovan and Kawhi have quite similar usages. This is something that James is used to, and I feel like that's why he feels like it's a plug-and-play potentially for him going to Cleveland. Are we awake now? Are we hyped?
We up now.
Okay, good. We up.
Well, I also feel like, I mean, when you look at James Harden and what he does, he's experienced next to the Zubac's of the world, the Clint Capellas of the world. When you look at the bigs that he's played with, and now, Shump, he's got Evan Mobley that he's playing with. He has Jared Allen that he's playing with. What does that unlock for Cleveland?
I mean, again, my biggest problem with the whole thing is what are you going to do on the defensive end? I know what James is going to add offensively. I think that Evan Mobley becomes a lot more aggressive. Well, it's going to seem that way because he's going to get a lot more shots. I think that he's also going to be able to slash. We don't talk about the horns action that James likes to run, where he brings both bigs up, and you have to respect it. That opens the floor so much when you're playing against him. You never know which way he's going to go because he does that little dribble hesitation through the legs cross, and then he gets you in that foul trouble. So he does a lot of things that keeps the defense not able to be honest, and you have to play it however he wants it. I think that Donovan Mitchell just has to wait long enough to understand how to attack that.
I just think availability matters in the NBA, and we've all said along Cleveland will be judged in May and June as far as where they are. And since that Miami series last year, Darius Garland has been injured. He's tried to come back from that surgery here, and as you mentioned, the numbers between James Harden and Darius Garland, you get an established 36-year-old clutch player. Now, we can debate in 7 games, but a guy who's seasoned in the playoffs here with Donovan Mitchell here. And I think, Chiney, you hit it right on the head. Like, that was my biggest question, the usage. When you have Mitchell and now Harden, you just won your case.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome.
The Cavs have like $300-some-odd million invested in Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. And this is really not only an investment in Donovan, but this is a continued investment in those guys because Harden has reliably gotten great production out of the big men he's played with.
Without a doubt.
And that is going to be that for Cleveland. This was clearly saying one thing. We know that Donovan Mitchell has given us the best years outside of LeBron James that we have seen maybe ever. We need to sign him